So is there more to come? What do I mean by that? Did you know that Zebec made a blog post not that long ago? And in that blog post, they had a section that said Zebec ecosystem expansion continues. Now, this blog post was in regard to Stellar, but this one actually, I think, showcases something a little bit different. Let me explain why. In this post, they say how, again, below that section, as Zebec continues to integrate across multiple chains, the goal remains consistent. Now, I'm going to paraphrase a little bit to kind of shorten this, but basically, their aim, the way you take a look at it, is to deliver, I guess, a more unified experience across networks without added complexity for businesses or users. But here's the thing, again, across networks, plural, not a network, not, oh, we're just going to only focus on one. Again, supposedly across networks. So what does this mean? We've already seen the Stellar partnership. I think, if anything, I think this might showcase that they're planning for more things moving forward. Furthermore, I think they may have things already planned because the track record when it comes to Zebec is they usually give these hints and these teasers like that after they already have things planned. We've seen it time and time again. Remember the Stellar partnership? You know, they were kind of like making some ambiguous posts and saying, oh, we're going to have this major partnership. They announced that, and then afterwards, of course, we saw the Stellar partnership, right? So Zebec has a track record of when they, have these, I guess, very vague statements. Usually they kind of have things in the works. Now, will it be the same moving forward? We'll wait and see, but I think this might be a sign, considering the track record when it comes to Zebec. So Stellar, I think, could just very well be the beginning. Maybe, right? But we'll wait and see. However, I think also something that I want to mention is I would like to see Zebec really just partner up with a lot of projects within its own niche. Of course, in my last video, I talked about maybe a partnership, maybe with XDC, but I would like to actually throw a curveball here. I'd actually like to mention something else, which is Zebec's closest competitor. Now, I get it, it's Onyx, and this may ruffle some feathers, but here's the thing. Why wouldn't Zebec want to partner up with Onyx? That's the way you take a look at it. I feel like they should. The reason why is this. Do you remember not too long ago when there was like 3 AI projects, SingularityNet, Fetch AI, and as well as the Ocean Protocol? Remember that? But then also remember when they had that merger, right? When it became the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, or should I say the ASI Alliance, not to be confused with KSI, right? The very famous YouTuber, but this is actually the ASI Alliance. And again, that was initially a merger between Fetch AI, SingularityNet, and as well as the Ocean Protocol. Why did I think that was a smart move? It's because those are 3 projects right there, pretty much focus on the same things, AI, right? So why compete for no reason? Why not have a merger, basically? I guess that was the whole concept behind it, and I thought it was a smart move. So when it comes to something like, for instance, in the case of Zebec, I'm not saying have a merger with Onyx, I'm not saying that. But why not have a partnership with its closest competitor? That's the way you take a look at it. I think it's actually a smart move. The reason being is this, because if they have a partnership with Onyx, I think, first of all, that may kind of, solidify its positioning within that kind of, I think, lower positioning than an XDC, Stellar, and Ripple, but at the same time still above the others in terms of competition. Because as of right now, Onyx and Zebec, it's kind of in a head-to-head competition, right? Sometimes people say, oh, Onyx is the choice. Sometimes they say Zebec is the choice. But why not Zebec have a partnership with Onyx, its closest competitor? Again, why not? I think it would actually be a smart thing. And even if I want to take things a whole nother step further, I feel like if Zebec really wants to put a stamp within the space of global trade and finance, I feel like just partner up with all the famous projects within the global trade and finance space. Let me explain why. Take a look at, for instance, XPR, Swiftcoin, XDC. We already know about the Stellar one, right? We don't know about the Ripple one yet, and we don't know anything about the Onyx one, right? But I'm just saying, imagine if there are those players right there, and then Zebec has a partnership with like all of them. Wouldn't that be so fantastic? Why stop at Stellar? Keep in mind, they already have a partnership with something called Lattice. Lattice is allegedly the first ever neobank built on Canton. So they already ticked that box. They already ticked the box of Stellar. I feel like the only logical next step, first of all, I think should be Ripple, if they could do that. Second of all, I think it should be XDC. Third of all, I think it should be Onyx, its closest competitor. And then afterwards, maybe do the XPR partnership or the Swift coin partnership. Why not? If they could do that, that would literally, I think, solidify, I think, Zebec as just a very prominent player within the global trade and finance space, and I think that would really elevate it. So I think it's actually a smart move if they were to do that. But of course, Zebec hasn't been around for that long yet, right? It only just really became popular last year, in my opinion, in a massive way. So there's still ways to go here, but I would like to see them do that, right? Just in a sense where other projects out there, they're very like averse to partnering up with their closest competitor, or like, very against even having any sort of collaboration with anything within its own space. But I feel like Zebec, they should change that sort of mindset, right? Because if they could do that, that would really start, I think, a new movement when it comes to this space and just ultimately make it more popular. I really do believe that, because if Zebec is viewed as a project that is willing to partner up with its closest competitors, and also on top of that, willing to partner up with other projects within its own space, that's going to give, I think, a lot more, I guess, of a vibe where this is a project that's really focused on the long haul. That's the way to take a look at it. So any way I view it, I think this could maybe be something cool. Again, if they do partner up with other things within its space, or other competitors, I should say, but we'll wait and see. But at the end of the day, again, when they say Zebec ecosystem expansion continues, and below that, they talk about integrating across multiple chains, I do really like seeing that. And, that may be a hypothetical sign, but we'll wait and see. However, at the same time as well, kind of my thing about Zebec is that as of right now, I don't need a hypothetical altcoin season when it comes to ZBCN, which may sound kind of counterintuitive. Now, of course, I'd be happy if I saw one, but really, at the end of the day, if ZBCN could ultimately, right, just go back to around a 500 million market cap, or maybe better yet, just go to around a billion in terms of market cap, in which we've seen XCN, or should I say Onyx, which again is its closest competitor, we saw XCN reach around a billion in terms of market cap in 2025. If ZBCN could either go to around a 500 million market cap or to around a 1 billion market cap, in which XCN did achieve last year, I'm already very happy at the end of the day. I'm already going to Sizzler at that point. There's no point for me to see an altcoin season anymore, even though I'd be happy if I did see one. But from this point on, if it could just go back to that, I'm already very happy. Here's the way to take a look at it. Usually people only care after the things have already happened, but that's not my style. So if, let's say, ZBCN goes back to around a 500 million market cap, some people like to say, oh, this is boring. Well, yeah, because they didn't care about ZBCN when it was way lower, right? Maybe that's the way to take a look at it. Now, I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but, some people out there were complaining about, getting into Bitcoin at around 100 grand. Well, okay, maybe because it had a pullback, but I'm saying if someone even acquired Bitcoin at like 50 grand or 40 grand or whatever, I highly doubt they'd complain if Bitcoin went to around 100 grand. That's the way I view it. Now, again, this is just a pure hypothetical, but at the same time, it's kind of like watching a movie, right? If I go early to the movie, then I can watch it in its entirety, first of all. And also, second of all, I'm able to get better seats, right? If I go to the movie near the end, first of all, I missed a bunch of the story, or like I missed a lot of the storyline, right? Furthermore, I'd probably have to rewatch the movie. So it's kind of the same analogy, the way you take a look at it. If I'm early to the movie, even if the movie isn't that good, I won't really complain, right? Because at least I saw the movie, at least I got to know what it was all about. But if I entered like near the end, what's the point? The journey has already kind of happened. Then I'd have to rewatch it. So when it comes to this space, I don't want to wait for things to happen before I care about it. I'd like to be early. However, does it mean it's going to be the right move? I mean, maybe not. Who knows, right? But I'd rather be early than late. That's the way to take a look at it. Maybe the movie is not good, but at least I'm early. When it comes to ZBCN, the way I take a look at it is, okay, sure, it might not do the best, but at least I'd like to be at ZBCN at below a 300 million market cap, just dollar cost averaging. That's the way to take a look at it, which we are actually below 300 million in terms of market cap. So again, at the end of the day, I am not complaining when it comes to ZBCN. It's just kind of a waiting thing, actually, the way you take a look at it. I mean, when it comes to this space, it's just a waiting thing. Like, there's really nothing I can do, but if I'm willing to wait, I don't see why it's like a big deal. Like, I don't see why it's a big deal for me. Again, if the only thing I literally have to do is wait, then I'll wait. It's like, do I have any need to care about what happens to the market like exactly right now? I don't think so in that sense where I need things to kind of do well in a week or 2 weeks. I mean, that'd be great, but if I had to wait a little bit longer, I mean, why would I complain? It's like either I'm holding or I'm not. I'm still going to be having to live my life, right? So the way I view it is this: if I don't hold anything, I'd still have to make it through 2026, 2027, 2028, regardless if I'm waiting or not. I'd still have to live my life. I'd still have to brush my teeth, take a shower, do all this type of stuff, right? It's like, for instance, 10 years ago, did I believe in Bitcoin? No, I did not. Did it do its thing without me? Yeah, it did, but I can't go back in the past. But what did I learn? I learned how, even though I didn't believe in that, again, I kind of viewed it as I was still living my life anyways, right? So had I been holding, I would have still had to live my life anyways. So I'd rather be holding than not, even though I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but that's just sometimes my mentality. And I just want to say thank you for watching. I hope you all have a very nice day. It's been Lee the Captain. I'm out. Peace. Bye.